Hello, folks. I think we've got two people viewing at this stage. This is hopefully working for you. If it is getting through and things are working, will you let me know by putting up a comment in the comment section so that I can see? I don't know how far it's behind. Just running tests now at this stage. Hopefully, we should be able to go over to the Zoom meeting that's taking place. I'm just bringing you over for a short visit. Hopefully, you can see that and download audio.
Recording takes place, we'll have everything muted and
Okay, 3 minutes to go.
Power, Sabrina.
yeah.
Tony,
I want to hear on my end.
Tony.
Opportunity to shut everybody up just like that.
Yeah, oh, there's four of them there. There's Fiona, Derval, Ned.
Oh, Vincent, sorry, I didn't see you there.
Andy, you muted yourself there.
First time I ever did that. Could anyone mute Mr. Trump?
Is that not you that muted Andy there? Yeah.
No comment.
Don't worry. You know something, Tony? There's stabs. Look, you should see my back at the moment, you know?
I'll shut up now, Andy. Thanks. Fair play to you for organising everything. Well done. It's a credit. Well done.
You're here.
Thanks, John.
Yes.
Okay. 2 minutes to go and counting.
Excellent.
So I suppose at this stage, Andy, if you want to, we can just start muting everybody. And if everybody then wants to switch off their cameras, just while Andy does the screen share, it'll help everybody be able to watch the video better, because that goes on for a good while, Andy, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So the screen sharing is starting now, okay?
Oh yeah, lovely.
So you should actually, at the present time now, you should actually have an IPF.
Unmute.
I'd like to welcome all clubs, societies taking part in this year's Irish Photographic Federation National Shield Digital Competition 2020. It's been quite a difficult year for a lot of photographic clubs, societies, also the businesses that are in the photographic trade. COVID-19 has seen all our lives turned upside down. Early in the year, I was asked, what are you going to do about the Shield? I said very quickly off the cuff that I was thinking of doing a digital competition. I brought this suggestion to council and they rolled in behind it. No competition runs without the help of the local club. In my case, I'm very privileged and honoured to be a member of the Kilkenny Photographic Society. Last year, we had a large number of members behind the scenes working away. This year, I'm bringing back a very small crew, and from Kilkenny Photographic Society, the members are Ned Mahan, Derval Conroy and Fiona Long. We also have a representative from the Carlow Photographic Society, Sabrina Dunny. Special thanks goes to Fiona for all the work she has done on the National Shield software, bringing it up to date. This year, 29 clubs are taking part, an increase on last year. Now, one man who has been with the National Shield longer than any one coordinator is Sheldon Law, Fine Art Papers. Sheldon has sponsored the National Shield over the last number of years. I'll now hand you over to the man himself to say a few words.
Hi Andy, thanks for that nice introduction. It's great to be back with the IPF, and I'm delighted to see that the National Shield is going ahead, even in these tough times. I have to say, it's a shame we all can't meet up. I love the hotel venues. I love having my little table of wares and going through and explaining products to people. and looking at the wonderful prints that are normally on display. Hopefully we can all get back next year. My business has changed a lot over the year. We have a new website. As part of that, and as part of our sponsorship with the National Shield, of which we're delighted to be, of course, we have a 10% discount for clubs that are members of the IPF and individuals, whoever wants to buy. If you use the code SHIELD 2020, you'll get 10% off at the checkout stage on our website, which is www.fineartpapers.ie. Now, over the years, a number of clubs have been using our papers and doing very well. One of the main papers that I represent is Canson. And Canson, a French company, this is one of their papers, Canson Prestige. A lot of clubs have used that, done very well with it. I'm not going to talk too much about papers, but there is a new one that they brought out, and I'm delighted to say it's in stock, and it's called Barita Photographique 2. It's a slightly textured version of their previous Barita paper. Really nice paper, selling very well. Again, you can buy it on our website. Not only Canson papers, also do the Hahnemühle papers, and this one here is the new metallic rag paper. It's a very interesting paper if you've got scenes with reflections in it and stuff like that. You know, water where you can see down through it to the rocks and the pebbles below and things like that. Car chrome and stuff like that. Really, really sparkles, and it's a rag paper. Rag meaning it's made from cotton. So Hahnemühle there, one of the ones we do. Certificates of authenticity. This is something people aren't aware of, but if you have a look on the Hahnemühle website, it explains it all. Basically, you have a holographic sticker you can apply to any images, and for limited edition prints, a really good way of selling. Okay. I was asked, the logo's behind me here. The black one in the middle there, the St. Cuthbert's one, is a new paper for me as such. Well, new maybe in the last two years, maybe, but it's part of the Canson Group now. It's a UK company. A lot of people have heard of Somerset Paper by St. Cuthbert's, and they also do a Bockingford, which is a really nice textured, relatively inexpensive paper. So again, all on our website. So without kind of boring people too much, I must say that we sell Epsom products. Epsom paper. This is one that Podge Kelly used. It's cotton textured, fine art cotton textured natural. He used in the Dublin Camera Club there for his exhibition. A lot of people were asking about it, and quite a few people have bought it. Again, available on the website, along with Epsom printers and BenQ monitors, Mirage software, a host of other products. Have a look in our blog section as well. In there, I have a how to choose a paper section. A lot of people ask that question. Normally when I'm face-to-face with people at the Shield, that's something I can show and say, look, this image works really well on this type of paper, or this one works very well on that. However, not being able to see people, you'll have to just take my word for it. Have a look on the blog and how to choose a paper. Some other bits and pieces in there. But listen, you didn't come here to see an advert for me, my company, but I'm gonna, without further ado, I'm going to pass you back to Andy and to the National Shield, and hopefully all the clubs will be excited to see where they've come and everything else. So hopefully next year we'll see you all in person. Bye for now.
I'd just like to say a few words and welcome our judges. We have very privileged this year to have 3 judges, one from Australia, one from Indonesia, and one from England. Our Australian judge, Bronwyn, started her interest in photography when her husband got himself a camera. She joined the Suburban Photographic Society in 1995, and in 2002 she joined the Digital Photographic Internet Club. In 2008, Bronwyn got her master's from the Australian Photographic Society. She's also a holder of a FEAP Silver and is a FEAP Liaison Officer for Australia. Currently, she is the editor of the FEAP newsletter. Our second judge, Agatha, from Indonesia. Agatha is the founder and director of a non-profit organisation, Art Photography of Indonesia, that connects and collaborates with all photographers around the world. She's a pioneer of international salons. She inspires and helps many Indonesian photographers to get distinctions. Agatha joined the Photograph Society of America in 2005 and has now earned the Fellow Honour, FPSA. She also has an ARPS and is currently EFIB Platinum. Her current position in the Photograph Society of America is International Relationship Vice President. Our third judge, Richard from England. Richard is a member of the Morton Photographic Society of Carlisle for over 35 years. Richard has a keen interest in nature and landscapes. Richard also represents the Northern Counties Photographic Federation on the Photographic Alliance of Great Britain. Bronwyn, if you would like to say a few words on that panel.
Sure. I'd actually like to just briefly start by saying what an outstanding standard this has been in this competition. There's some truly amazing work amongst what we've got here this evening, and I would fully expect a lot of images to do well in international competition. Anyhow, to look at this panel, the shot that I've chosen, we've been asked to talk about one image in particular from the panel. The shot I chose is titled, let me just make quite sure I've got the right one, is this Donnie. And I thought there was a lot of wonderful elements in this image. There's a tremendous amount of detail and beautiful sense of perspective, especially as you converge those lines of those shelves going through to the man standing. Whenever I look at an image, I always say, look, is there things that would make this even stronger for me? And in this instance, I would have loved the man to be perhaps doing something other than standing there. I saw the potential for using that depth for him to be, standing perhaps on the ladder and reaching towards into the shelves, whereby the person himself would use that depth of the image as well. But other than that, the quality of this is excellent. Well done.
Agatha, would you?
Yes. This is a very nice panel with the different kinds of photos. You can see that there's some landscape, and then the street photos, and then nature, indoor or even outdoor. I think my favorite one is actually the photos titled Ghost Train, because you can see that the ghost itself, it's like abandoned train. And the things that are very interesting is actually the clouds. With the dark clouds, it makes the photo more dramatic. Then it's a very powerful photos. But then overall, it's a very nice panel.
Richard?
Yes, I was interested particularly in this panel because there's some wonderful portraiture in it, running right the way through from the children and the lovely dog. But the one that really drew my attention is the one entitled Fortitude, because I think you've captured a wonderful character here, and just that focus on those liquid eyes and some very, very good control of lighting. You've cropped it very, very tightly, which to me, I think works, and having him offset to the right-hand side of the picture space. Maybe not to everybody's cup of tea, but I think it really helped concentrate on this character. And I did as well appreciate that very, very gentle sepia toning, which I think added a lot of character.
Another lovely panel. The image that I chose to hone in on was the one titled My Teddy, which is the little one up in the top left-hand side. Technically excellent image. The child feels very natural, which was one of the things that appealed to me in this image. There's no forced smile, which is so classic. I spent many years photographing children of preschool age. Probably around 10,000 children would be roughly the number of kids I've photographed. And one of the things I love about this was that she is so natural in her expression. There's been no attempt to make her hair fancy, to push her to smile, to be anything other than her pure self. And that Teddy feels loved You know, even though she's been placed in a studio setting, she still feels very real, and technically it's excellent. The eyes in particular are very engaging. Well done.
Agatha?
This is one of my favorite panel. The strong point of this panel is actually the portrait photos, where you can see most of the portrait photos here is with the strong eyes. I think the eyes seems like they are talking to you or they are staring at you, which is, I think, in the portrait photos, eyes is one of the important elements to make the photos become more powerful. And I think with the proper lighting as well, you can also make some catch of light in the eyes. So that's why it's a very appealing panels and a very appealing portrait photo as well. And overall is a very nice with the mix of portfolio, like the mix of collection, like some landscape, some birds, and there's also a street photos. A job well done to the club.
Richard?
Yeah, another good variety of images in here, some quite experimental ones as well, with the one of the photographer almost ending up with double eyes to him in there. The one that I've chosen to comment on specifically is in the top left of the panel, Gehry's Guggenheim, an amazing building. And I think the author here has done a very good job of choosing such a dramatic viewpoint to bring out the incredible detail in the building. I think you've done a very good job in holding back a lot of the highlights on that metallic surface. And I think possibly you could just lift it a little bit, because in some areas we've got quite dark shadows heading into almost blocking up in the blacks. And I think a little bit of lifting of those could make this stand out even more strongly.
Bronwyn?
Gorgeous set of images. We've got beautiful lighting on the little mushrooms down in the bottom, and I really appreciated the one over in the bottom right called Tom's Room. But the one in particular that I chose to comment on is the one titled Pollution, which is the one in the top left. I would describe this as an absolutely haunting image. The treatment and presentation of the photo adds to that dark and ominous feel. And much as that mask comes from the past, one can also perceive that sort of futuristic, apocalyptic type scenario. And although the eyes are hard to see, you can tell that they're quite intense too when you look closely at the image. And certainly in the conversations when we were looking at these images as a group, there was even the relation to, I guess, the current predicament where we are indeed, many of us wearing masks, and where we are facing a world-changing event for this year at least. But yes, excellent image, well done.
Agatha?
Yeah, again, this is one of my favorite panel as well, and particular, especially the photo title Hello. So you can see that the Hello is kind of very nice, soft lighting, and the expression of the model also is very soft. I like it so much. Again, there is a mood in these photos as well. Another thing that makes me interested is actually the photo title T42. Okay, this is a lot of story behind. I think there is a lot of story in these photos, especially the man. It looks similar. A lot of similarity, like the coat, and then like the gesture, even the gesture of the hands is almost the same. And then they are trying to hold the tea as well. And the environment is also, it's very appealing. So this is a very nice story photos and a very nice panel also. Job well done.
Agda? Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry, Bronwyn.
On this one again. Another huge variety in this, and congratulations to the club for choosing such a variety. The one I'm going to comment on specifically is the wood turner. And I think compositionally, this is very strong indeed. The tight crop that you've chosen really does help us to concentrate on the wood turner's skill with the chisel on the lathe. You've got good sharpness throughout this picture, and I think you've handled what were probably very difficult lighting conditions in there very well indeed. You've got no blocked up shadows, no burning highlights, and yeah, job well done with this one.
Bronwyn?
One would always expect, anyone who knows me would be that they would expect me to talk about the Border Collie, because I'm a Border Collie breeder. And indeed, delightful dog, and I've had them for 40 years. Some beautiful range of images, and that's not the actual one I'm going to comment on. The one I particularly wish to talk about is the one titled Dara and Me. And please forgive me if I've pronounced that incorrectly. It's the photo of the child with the dog down in the bottom left corner of the panel. And there's very clearly a bond between that dog and that young man. Much as you can ask a child to do certain things for you for the camera, that dog has responded naturally. And there's clearly a relationship between the two. The child coming home from school, there's a story that goes with that image. The expectation that that dog is probably waiting at that window each day as that child arrives home from school. I thought that was just a really lovely, natural type of capture, and something that so many of us can relate to that own a dog. Well done.
Agatha.
This is again a very interesting panel and a mix of variety. In particular, actually, there is two photos that I attracted to, which is the first one, which is a shadow. The one that it attracts me more is actually the dog. The dog, because I think you have to wait until the dog is actually open his mouth, which is probably sometimes it's not easy. You have to be patient, and it's also the dog is looking at the one that's taking picture, which is very nice. I think it's a very nice and very interesting. The other one is actually the man, which is okay. The photo which title relaxing, I think is having break, not relaxing, having break. So I think this is a very nice black and white as well, and you can feel that this man is in the spare time probably, or during the day when he can just relax, and then he's smoking. So you can feel a sense of relaxing of this man. But overall, it's very nice variety and very nice interesting panel.
Richard.
Yes, some clever work in this one, some very good close-up of musical instruments in it. The one that I have chosen to speak about is the tackle, which is in the top row, third one in from left. And I thought that was a wonderful tight group in there. You've caught the action magnificently, and the strong lighting has worked very well indeed. And none of the crowd in the background, none of their shadows or highlights are interfering with the strength of that action. And monochrome suits this so well. I don't think if it was recorded in color, it would be half as strong in this picture. So yeah, great action, superbly caught.
And Bronwyn.
This is a particularly strong panel of work, and congratulations to the club. I had a hard time deciding which image I was actually going to comment on, and would actually mention particularly two of them. The portrait down on the bottom left, which is titled Abby, and the one titled Stripes, which is the third from the left on the bottom. Abby, it's a very brave thing to put a set of stripes with a set of patterned circles on a dress and expect the portrait of the face to stand out, and yet this one absolutely works. And such attitude on that facial expression, and the eyes that have just been illuminated so beautifully. It's why this face stands out so strongly, and the whole image, the way she's presented against that wall with that very individual set of attire, really exudes personality. And that's what makes the difference between a portrait and a photograph of a person in a studio. Is it just a record of what they look like, or is it something that tells you something about that person? This one tells you about this person's personality in so many ways. The other one is an absolute standout image titled Stripes. All I could think of was it actually looks like a creature, you know, that it's not just a person, you know, those stripes, the legs exuding from the body, which is actually the hat. It's just such a creative portrait. I would expect that to absolutely do well at international level. And if you haven't entered it already, you should. Well done.
Agatha.
Yeah, another interesting panels is a mix of variety, is a mix of some landscape, also some of the animals. The one that I want to comment is actually the photo called A Mighty Catch. I think also, I mean, like supported with the title itself. This is a very nice and good sport photo where you capture everything at the peak. So basically, you can see that the hands is at the peak, the jump is at the peak, and you can see also the expression of the players. They are seems to be like, okay, they are want to win the game. So this is a very nice and very powerful sport photos. And you capture it in the right moment, in the great moment. So job well done. And then for the interesting panels, the one is actually, another one I want to comment is actually the photos with the grassland and with the small horse. And I kind of like this one because even though it is a small, just a small element of the horse, but it's a very nice, especially when you make it a big print, I think it will be quite very nice and powerful.
And Richard.
Fascinating panel. I commend the people who put this one together, that we've got that seed head in the top line adjacent to that woman's portrait with that wonderful hat, which almost replicates the seed head in the picture next to it. And I thought that was an interesting little balance, perhaps unintentional, but it did work. The one that I've chosen to comment on, though, is down on the bottom row, third one in from the left, which is called The Love of Books. And I thought it isn't the sort of image that we've seen taken in many different ways before, but your intention of the lighting here, the concentration on that heart shape. And I particularly enjoyed the way that the bookmark tassel running out from the book down towards the bottom right hand of the image does strengthen it considerably. So I think the way in which you've handled the lighting, worked on the idea, and in particular the title to run with it, has lifted this beyond just a copy of what other people have done before. You've put your own personal stamp on this.
And we're back to Bronwyn.
Really broad range of images. A couple of people have focused very heavily on patterns, that being the one with the curves over on the far right, top right, with all the various curves throughout the building, and indeed the curves of the tables down in the forecourt there. And the other one, one of the other ones I really liked in this set was the set of archways over on the far left, and those converging lines and the converging spheres. There's sort of three themes of shapes going through that image, and the absolute depth of images. I actually thought what would be an interesting thing to experiment as a different image would be to actually grab a person and put them just out of the line of sight and have their shadow encroach on one of those archways, just as an idea for something that you might want to go back and do with that setting. But the image that I thought was the absolute standout in this panel is the one titled Lonesome Cow. It's a little bit like the one that Agatha mentioned in the previous one with the horse up on the grasslands. It's a cow, and it's the tiniest element, but it's just so important in this image. The image is so atmospheric, you know, that sea spray that's just surrounding that landscape, and the actual coastline that spray has actually segregated where in such a beautiful layered way, it gives such beautiful depth and such detail in the image, but that how you manage to plan for that cow to be just there at the right time in the right spot for you, it's you were so lucky. Well done.
And we're back now to Agatha.
I love this panel, actually. I love this panel. And there is two photos is my favorite one. The first one is actually the dog. If you see the dog really carefully, I like the movement of the dog, and you can sense the movement of this dog because you can see the hair of the dog is like flying, and you can see also the hands, the feet, not the hands, the feet of the dog. Okay. So you can sense of action in these photos, which is a very nice one, instead of just posing. So this is a very my favorite one, the dog. And the second one is actually a photo called Gemma. Very nice. This is one of the perfect photo, I think, from the lighting side, and then especially the eyes, the lighting on the eyes, and then the expression of the girl is very soft. It's very natural, and it's very like, okay, the girl is actually like very pure, and it seems to be like a princess from the old days. And especially it's the more that make it dramatic, actually the clothes itself, the gown, which is a very unique one. So overall, I have nothing, I mean, there is nothing weakness of this photo. I think you have to be proud of yourself when the photographers that took this kind of picture. But the overall panel, again, very interesting for me, and a lovely panel. Good job.
And Richard?
Yes, again, another very strong panel, some different character and emotion in here. And I did enjoy two pictures specifically in this one. And the first one was up on the top right, and that lovely exploration down that avenue of old trees, I thought was particularly strong, the way you've handled that. But the one I really do want to comment on is this one up on the top row, second in from the right, called Ran Out of Charge, where the razor has died partway through this operation, and it's just got that wonderful expression. And you've got half a hairy head, and then the bit that's freshly shaved, very cleverly done. I did like the way you've handled the lighting so well, so there's quite a strength of light coming in from the background to make the hairs on the hairy side of the head still stand out quite well. I'm not quite sure whether his eyes are naturally that big. They did look a little bit unnatural to me, so I don't know whether you've used the Liquify tool on them to strengthen their shape, but they did look as if he's perhaps got a thyroid problem. But nonetheless, I thought it was an extremely well put together picture, and I enjoyed it.